Thank you, Mark. So I have a question. Are you able to hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I have a question, and I was wondering what kind of goes through your mind as you're creating that, and what what were you kind of pulling from?
Boy, hard to tell. I mean, I'm sort of thinking about a Ligeti orchestra piece or something, only
Mm.
it's dramatic. And then mostly I was trying to decide what to do about things that started to run away on me because it's improvised, and I'm not used to doing it with headphones and earphones in and stuff. But so, so it was an experience for me too.
Nice, nice. That is so cool. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. And what were you doing tech wise with your pedals and things like that?
Well, I had a couple of different loops going. I did less active manipulation of loops than I did in the previous one, though, because it was on the fly. Most of it was happening in one of the big loopers. And I was just mainly trying to get a massive thing going and then solo over it. So that's what I did.
One of these days we'll have to have a multicam set up so we could see what you're doing with the pedals and you're playing.
Yeah, I mean, you probably could hear some clicking here and there because the switches aren't noiseless, but
Oh yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for sharing. That was Mark Sullivan from Charlotte, North Carolina. What we do on this show here is we raise money also for full-time performers and people who are musicians who are getting affected by this current situation. And basically, every full-time musician is out of work right now. So what I always do in between everybody who performs, before and after, I always talk about how we're raising money for this. And also, WDAV is a classical radio station, 89.9 WDAV, Classical Public Radio in Davidson, North Carolina. And they have committed to donating $50 a month to the artists we present. And we were also wondering if you could spare any change to help contribute to keep this show going. I posted it in the chat. Also, we do have Venmo, PayPal, Cash App, or you can pay with a card on our website. Donate that way. And thank you so much. So, next up, we do have Terrance Shepherd, another Charlotte local. I'm going to unmute Terrance. And Terrance, how are you doing
Hello.
tonight?
I'm doing good. Now that we got the
Good.
sound system working.
Right. It's always a new endeavor with new technologies and ways of performing and presenting. And thank you again. Thank you to all our musicians for being so brave and sharing in this way. This is really cool. So, Terrance, could you tell us a little bit about yourself, what you're doing, where you're at?
Right. So I am Terrance Shepherd. Thank you again, Elizabeth. I actually am a native of Charlotte, but I'm also originally from Queens, New York. Um, I went to the CPCC, and obviously I got my associates in music there and did all the stuff there in music history, music theory, and a whole bunch of things. And then I got my experience, and I transferred to go to Queens University of Charlotte, and that's when I got into composition there. And so currently, right now, I'm at Radford University,
Nice.
obtaining my master's in music composition. So
Awesome.
that's what I'm doing right now.
That is super cool. All right. Well, what kind of music are you up to
So
these
this is
days?
Yeah, this is the thing. Since I've been in college for a long time, I think taking these classes like music history and taking all the intense music classes, I was trying to now find my kind of voice within these composers. We're
Mm-hmm.
talking about stuff that goes back to the medieval times up
Right.
until Ravel or
Right.
John Cage, so to speak. So I think now I'm kind of in this WC phase. Before it was a lot of the romanticism, and I love romantic music like Brahms and Mendelssohn and Schumann is my favorite. So
Nice.
being able to kind of use some of those colorful harmonies and that kind of thing into my own music. But also now I'm starting to realize that WC really it kind of geared towards that avant-garde, kind of like you said. And if you're looking at music that traces back, we love the Beethoven and we love the Mozart, we love the before, but every period that goes out in another period, it kind of breaks down, it kind of breaks out of that norm and gets to something else. And really, if you trace back to that music, we're really looking at Debussy on and up. And you have the, you know, the John Fort, and you have the Stravinsky, and you have the Second Viennese School of Composers. You have, you have all of that stuff, but something about Debussy's music is very, you're able to kind of improv a little bit. So that's kind of what I'm going to be doing tonight. I do have an original piece, an impromptus in B minor. So I'll play a little bit of that, but then I have this other piece that I'm kind of working on right now. It's going to kind of be improv a little bit.
Awesome.
So you'll hear some Mendelssohn kind of Schubert stuff going on. All right.
Awesome. We're looking forward to it. Thank you so much. Okay. What's the name of this piece? Oh.
This is impromptu in B minor.
Oh yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. And so when did you write that?
That was my first semester at Queen's University, spring of 2016. Actually.
Nice. And you perform?
Yeah.
What? Do you always perform a lot of your compositions?
Yeah, I try to, but with the things with Hip Hop Orchestrated, that's also another thing I'm involved in. We're trying to use these kind of ideas, taking fragmentations of certain classical pieces and that kind of thing, or themes, so to speak, and then trying to mesh it with some modern day kind of stuff tastefully, not just kind of dismissing anything.
Right.
But just trying to do it and trying to find a happy medium. Because I found that being able to compose this kind of music, you know, I think the piece that moved me most, I'm not going to be long-winded with all of those pieces, but I think the piece that really moved me was the Brahms Symphony number 3, that one right there.
Right. That is
a
moving piece.
Instrumentation. You know what I would do with that if I would arrange that, honestly? You know, much respect to Brahms, but if I would arrange that piece, it would, I would do some interesting things with that. I don't know.
You should come back one day and do something interesting with that for us.
I should. I may have to have a duet or something like that.
Okay.
Maybe have like a trio or something, probably.
Nice.
And so, yeah, so that's pretty much it. So just notice how I had that. So a little bit, this is supposed to be reminisce of German Lieder. I know that's German, you know, music, song, and voice, but the piano accompaniment is supposed to kind of resemble that. So kind of in the Earl King with the whole, and he does that. I think it's the end. What is it?
Right.
That final cadence. So I think with my impromptu, it was telling a story, and so whatever the story was, that was the end. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that was the end.
All right. Do you have anything else for us tonight, Terrance?
I do have another one. So this is something that I'm working on currently right now. I don't have a name for it. It's just untitled, but I hope you like it. I'm going to kind of pause in between chords. So it's going to be a little weird, but I just want you guys to kind of flow with me a little bit, though. It's gonna
Gotcha. You got us.
Okay. All right.
Nice. Thank you
That's what
so
we're working on
much. Um, how much further along do you have to go, you think?
You know what? That was really all improv, but there were obviously ideas that I kept bringing back, and that kind of thing. And
Hmm.
once again, as I said, that WC kind of way of idea or chromatic planing or 20th century kind of harmony and that kind of thing. So that's what I was kind of using, trying to use it. So, but in the form of an actual piece.
Right.
That's what needs to be formulated now because all these ideas, but we gotta really structure it for it to be actually a
Nice.
piece.
So you'll be
So working
toning it
on
up a little bit.
it. Needs to be toned up. I wonder if
Sweet.
it may be better to have a different choice of instruments. I mean, the piano was good, but maybe
Hmm.
for another sense of timbre, probably
Right.
maybe having a flute or something like that, probably.
Hmm. Hmm.
Maybe maybe I could write a part for Mark Sullivan. Maybe he can play
You
this,
know?
the chord part for that part. I don't know. That's what it is.
Actually, musicians tend to find collaborators on these open mics.
Well,
So,
Mark, we may have to collab, Mark. Because there's this Steve Rice piece that I like to
that
kind
was
of do.
cool. That was cool. All right, thank you, Terrance. And if you want, Terrance, you can post your links in here, but we'll also
Okay.
post them on our Facebook event. But please do add your links. Feel free to. As promised, I'm going to make that announcement again. We are raising money for full-time performers who are out of work, going on a few weeks now. Um, so we're raising money for full-time performers who are out of work for a few weeks now, and we do have Venmo, and the username for that is CLT New Music. That's short for Charlotte New Music, but CLT New Music. Our PayPal is info@charlottenewmusic.org. Our Cash App is the $ and then Charlotte New Music. Or you can pay with our card at, you can contribute on our website at charlottenewmusic.org/donate. It has all the ways we accept on there too. So we have another visitor here. And next up, we have composer and cellist Luciano Corrêa. I don't know if I said that right. How do you,
Yeah, it's okay. It's
could you
the Italian. Yeah, it's in Brazil it's Luciano, but that's no problem.
Luciano. Okay, sorry about that. Luciano.
No problem. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you for letting me be the third one. I told her that I was a little bit nervous. And I really like so much of Mark and Terrace music, so it's amazing.
Right.
So I'm from Brazil and I'm living in New Orleans. I moved to the United States in 2016. After, in part because of Elizabeth, because she granted me the possibility of be part of her festival. Charlotte, Music Festival was an amazing experience, and really got excited to move to here and do a master's in composition. So I did a bachelor's in cello and music production, and I did a post-baccalaureate in soundtrack composition for movies and TV. And in 2015, I came here. I was selected by some festivals, including the Charlotte New Music Festival. It was a really, really good experience to me. So I decided to move here, and I did a master's in music composition at Louisiana State University. And since then, I'm living here in New Orleans. That's a really musical city,
Right.
and yeah, a lot of great musicians playing here and composers and everything. So it's
Wow.
a really good scene here.
Very
And
cool. I'm
and
jealous.
and
But
unfortunately, everything is shut down.
right.
So we don't have any gig, any show, or anything
Right.
right now.
What would you
Uh,
normally be doing for gigs?
oh, we have a lot of different gigs and different like bars, from bars to theaters to weddings or
Right.
everything.
Right.
So we have a really interesting musical scene here in different kinds of music. So I was playing at the same time in indie rock band and string trio and a group of Brazilian music. So
Nice.
different
Right.
styles, because we have this here, and sometimes you have different styles being presented in the same place.
Wow.
So yeah,
Cool.
and but I'm mostly working right now with soundtrack composition, because sometimes, no, not really busy, but
Right.
I have a few works on this area, because I'm working in Brazil for many years, especially using the cello, because what I do is that I normally use the contemporary techniques of the cello, and effects like delay and acoustical effects like the extended techniques for the instrument. I
Okay.
use that on movies. So,
Oh, nice.
and last year, I think, the Joker, no, was this year, right? The Joker won the best soundtrack, was for that, the cellist that
Oh, I don't know.
was a composer. Yeah, she's amazing, and it's pretty much related to what I do. And
Nice.
that's it.
Awesome. Well, what are
Thanks
you
for
gonna
the
play?
opportunity.
Man, this is so cool. I'm so excited to have you on here, and I haven't seen him since 2015, but I know he plays, and I see him around Facebook creeping around on doing different things. And
Yeah, I'm seeing you too.
and so I'm like, you know what? He'd be great. And what are you gonna play for us tonight?
Well, I'm gonna play my first, I would say, my first formal composition for
Okay.
cello solo. Have you seen the bowl?
Yes. Thank you. I give all the musicians a hard time about
Yeah,
their
yeah.
audio and their video.
She gave us like direct instructions about, no, go behind. I want
Gotta
to
be
see
top
it.
notch.
All right, so
It's all
it's
yours.
funny because I started to to deal with composition playing friends' compositions. So
Oh, yeah.
my friends had compositions for cello, and I started to help them in the process of understanding the instrument.
Right.
And one day, one of them in Brazil, he just told me, "Man, you need to compose because you are composing. You are not realizing that you are doing that."
Wow.
So, and I started to deal with that idea in my mind and what I'm doing or not. And one night I just had the dream, and the dream was a song. I
Wow.
was playing the cello, and for the first time I could remember exactly how I was playing and what was sounding, and I like was kind of crazy because I woke up and just grabbed the cello and start to try to remember and figure out, and then that's my first formal composition, I would say. And
That's
the name
amazing.
is, yeah, musica disconcerto. That is like unconcert music,
Awesome.
kind of, yeah.
That was incredible. Incredible. And that was your first ever.
Yeah, that
Wow.
was my first ever like, formal composition. From
Right.
there, yeah, like from this one, I got worse. But well, I use like a Baroque technique
Right.
for bowing, like for string instruments. That is the I know the Italian term, variolage. That is when you like you hit the strings with
Percussive.
yeah, kind of, and you produce a lot of harmonics because you start to make the instrument vibrate, and you dealing with chords and things like that.
Right.
But it's a good thing, and it's a lot of also difference in terms of timbre that I work with the bowl to try to create variations in terms of sound. And that's why I was telling you that it's really used in terms of soundtrack composition, because when you're dealing with I'm gonna back to okay.
Yeah, thank you, so we could see.
Like for example, if you play the sound like, but if you play the sound like this, you have an effect totally different. So it's the kind of thing that I like to explore in my compositions, and
Right.
it's funny when someone else play my composition, like it's always that feeling that it's something different. I don't know. Normally, composers also are instrument players,
Right.
but I don't know if you have the same feeling. But I was very strange to like hear other people playing your. I don't know.
Well, it's funny because we're artists, and just like it's just like another form of using color, right? As visual people do, and not all artists, even painters, use color in the same way as one to the next.
So,
And I think that variation is beautiful, and that's what I think that's what draws some people to other composers more. They can identify with those palettes.
And it's something that I had to start to deal with, is the question that you try to put like as much as you can your ideas in piece of paper.
Right.
It's like a code that you're trying to put there, and someone else is reading that in the coding, but it's not exactly the same that was in your mind. But it's something else that it's good too. So it's a good feeling. So
Awesome.
I really like to be like a composer and a performer, both.
Of
I
course.
think that it's something important.
And you do a really great job at that exact thing. Thank you so much.
Thank
It
you.
was really cool. Really
Thank you
cool
for
to hear.
inviting me. I'm so glad that we could meet each other again.
Right, right. I get to meet so many people through the festival, and it's crazy how many I don't know, different connections. Like for example, next up is Lex Nordlinger, and he's I guess, are you from? I'm gonna unmute you, Lex. Are you from Rock Hill or from Charlotte?
I'm originally from Hendersonville, North Carolina, actually.
Okay, okay.
My parents moved to Greenville, South Carolina when I was 12, and then I went to college.
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Well, it could be a little louder if you can turn your microphone volume up. Do you know how to do that?
I believe so. Audio settings. It's all the way up. Let me just. You see, I have
Oh, I hear you better
You
now.
hear me now? Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually got my audio interface hooked up to it.
Oh,
So
great.
it's not going through the. By the way, before I go any further, I noticed one thing that really helped my audio, because for a while it was very bad, even though it's going through my audio interface. I
Right.
went to settings, then advanced settings, and then I put disable on the like background noise thing and
Right.
the other thing, and that made everything sound a lot better.
I did include those instructions,
Oh,
the
you
same
did?
ones in the email.
Good.
But I'm glad you found it finally, and that we got you here, and you're gonna play for us. Luciano, did you have anything else you wanted to do for us, or?
Oh no, I'm glad to
Okay. All right. Oh,
just
before.
watch now.
Thank you. All right. Thank you so much. And like I said, as promised, I always reiterate that if you can contribute, that would be so helpful for our performing artists that are out of work. Venmo is CLT New Music, and PayPal is info@charlottenewmusic.org. Cash App is I messed it up on the chat, but Cash App is the $, and then Charlotte New Music. I'll change that in the chat. So anyway, next up is Lex Nordlinger, and as I was mentioning, I got to meet him actually at my festival too, the Charlotte New Music Festival, and we have an open mic, but in person, and I had it only once a year during the festival, but now my New Year's resolution was to do it every month. That's why, kind of why we're on here. So I didn't want to cancel the first one of this month, which was on the 24th of March. So wait, that was 2 months ago. Whatever that last month was. I don't even know what month it is anymore. So I didn't want to cancel it, and I had it scheduled for in person. I was supposed to do it like once a month, and it was going to be great, and it was great. We did one in February, and it was awesome. And all kinds of people came out and played and just hung out and drank beers, and it was so much fun. And so I didn't want to cancel the next one. I was kind of hoping, I didn't know what was really going to happen with this whole situation or what we could possibly make work. So I was like, well, let's try Zoom. I want to connect with people. People want to connect. We don't get to see each other. I want to see the audience. So thank you for audience people who've turned on your videos. If you're not, I know who's a couple of you are, and I appreciate you being here. And anyway, so we had these open mics. Lex came to one of those, like, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 years ago, and performed with his, I'll let you describe that. And anyways, so now we have these. I'm doing this weekly, and John will be co-hosting some of these with me. John Shaughnessy is a local bassist and composer, and really awesome music too, by the way. So anyway, we'll be hosting these every week, and as long as people in the U.S. can't go out, that's what I'm going to be doing. And I'm going to be bringing in local to national to international performing artists. And one reason I like to always have local people involved is because it helps put Charlotte on the map. We are not known as a music city, but there's this amazing source of musicians and music here, and if it's hard to find at first, but you know, a lot of people are working on that right now, and you know, if you come check it out, there's plenty to see every night of the week. But there's not a big new music scene, so this is twofold to kind of put that in motion a little bit more, and that's kind of the purpose of the festival too, and then also to highlight local and bring in tie them in with national and international performing artists, and give us a way to connect with our audience, because we don't have that right now. So Lex, could you talk about the ensemble you brought that one open mic many moons ago?
Sure. I believe it was 2016. Yeah, I don't remember so much about it, but I know it was 4 percussionists, I believe, and we all had. Oh no, it wasn't. No, I had at least 3 percussionists,
Right.
with cymbal stands and the cymbal line.
Right.
And I had a trumpet player. I had someone else, but I forgot. And that's it.
Right, it was a cool piece. I don't remember what exactly it was, but I remember parts of it.
I
And
gave all kind of instructions. It wasn't traditionally notated at all.
Nice.
I remember at some points it would sound it sounded like intersecting. It's basically like Become Ocean by John Luther Adams.
Right.
But instead of beautiful harmonies, you just had cymbals.
Nice.
And the trumpet.
Awesome. So, how did you get into that stuff?
Many ways. I don't think I could go into all of them right now, but I would say Dr. Michael Williams over from Winthrop University. He's not teaching there anymore, but he's
Right.
great. He's very into new music, and he turned me on to a lot of things.
Sweet.
I'm still into.
Awesome. Well, what are you up to these days? Where are you at? And what's your work looking like? And what's all that about?
So I moved to New York in 2016, the day before Trump was elected, actually. Can you hear me okay right now, or should I?
Yes, we can. I can hear you.
And then this shit happened, and now I'm here. I'm just chilling at my mom's house.
Yeah.
I
And that.
March 22nd,
Mhm.
because you know, I had the option to come here, and I have a lot of equipment here, and I just
Right.
felt like my time would be better spent if I were here.
Right. I completely identify with that. Yeah.
And it was a good decision. I'm
Good.
glad I didn't. At least seemingly, I haven't transmitted the disease to any South Carolinians. That was a worry coming from a heavy zone.
Right.
I didn't want to give my mom the virus.
Right. It's a very, very worrisome and scary time.
Yeah, hard decision to make, but glad I made it.
Right.
Now,
Good. Well, I'm glad you did too.
go back there once things are a little bit easier there.
Right. Well, thank you for sharing that. And is what do you have in store for us tonight? What would you like to share musically?
I'm just gonna play.
Yeah.
I don't
Okay.
have a composition, but this will be the newest of new music. It's so new, I don't even know what it is yet.
Improv, we love it. Actually, Mark Sullivan did an improv earlier, so
I heard it. It was fantastic. I love Mark Sullivan's stuff.
awesome.
Both things he did.
Awesome.
I heard 2 things. I'm not sure if he played more than 2, but
Yeah.
the 2 I heard were great.
All right. Well, let's hear it. It's all yours. Nice. Thank you so much.
I was
And
trying to play just a little more, but starting with a different mood. I ended up playing in a mood that I wasn't really feeling.
okay.
But I'll be.
What was the mood that you started with, you think? What were the tones of it?
Red, yellow.
Nice.
I'm feeling more blue and green
I'm
on
excited.
the album. Though I'd also be into that album
Nice. All right, let's hear it.
too.
Whenever you're ready.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, could you tell us what your setup is right there with the thing on top of the hi-hat? What is
Oh
that?
yes, this is a Shakaré that was broken. So it used to be a big old Shakaré. You know, Shakaré.
Mm-hmm.
They have a whole circle. You guys know what Shakarés are. But then it broke. But it fits on my hi-hat very nicely now.
Yes. Nice.
All right.
Go for it.
Oh yeah. Okay. That's all.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. And um, what was your kind of like your inspiration for that one, or what were you bringing into that? What were you mixing with that?
Um, it's kind of just stuff I've been practicing lately. With that one, yeah, it's just kind of material that's been. It's hard to say exactly where it's come from. It
Right.
all just shows up, but it's
Right.
hard to trace. But one thing I did want to say before I'm off of here is I'm trying to do some more online collaborations. I'd like to actually kind of compose something through doing that. Like basically, like perhaps I would make a drum track that could be the whole thing or could be part of it, and I'll send it to one person, and then I'm using Ableton, but I could, get it in a way that you could use it in your thing.
Nice.
You take that and you can splice it some if you want, and you make something to it, and then we send it to someone else and just kind of chain it that way.
I love it. I love that idea and that whole
Anyone is
concept.
interested in that. One thing I want to do is something kind of, and I've seen a lot of Reich stuff, so something kind of Reich or Reich or however you guys say it, something kind of that inspired. So like it would be that
Yeah.
out there. If anyone's interested in joining and collaborating on that, find me, and I'd love to have any of your help.
Yeah. If you're a composer on here and you're interested in it, raise your hand. So there you go. So yeah.
First, then.
Ah. Well, we could sort that out. Fight over another Zoom chat.
Yeah.
This has been awesome, though. Thank you so much, Lex, and thank you for that incredible idea. I think we should roll with it. We should do something. The composers in this room here, and see what comes of it. Everybody in this whole presentation tonight has been incredible, and it's been a real honor to present with you all. I do want to reiterate that we could use some donations if anybody feels so compelled to help us keep this going, and to help us pay the musicians who are out of work. And we're, it's a weird spot for us right now. It's a lot of unknown across every industry, really. I mean, it's really crazy, but the entertainment industry was pretty much the first to go, to say, hey, maybe we shouldn't get together like that, and everything got canceled. So right away, like 3 or 4 weeks ago now, I don't even know, but it's been a while, and and a lot of people don't realize that, but we will be probably the last to reopen, and unfortunately. So, we're all trying to find different avenues, different ways of making this whole thing work, and different ways that we can be useful using our arts, our crafts, our skills, and still trying to find ways to reach and be meaningful in what we do. So I hope you guys were all able to, even the ones who are probably watching our live stream, I hope you guys are able to get a lot out of this, that it was something new and different, and that you're able to take away from this something you wouldn't have been able to any other way, really, even in person, because these people are from all over the place, which is another really cool aspect of this. So once more, I'm going to tell you our streams of ways that you can contribute is through Venmo. Our name on there is CLT New Music, CLT New Music, or PayPal info@Charlotte New Music will get you that PayPal routed to the right place. And then the Cash App is $ Charlotte New Music, all one word with the $. So $ Charlotte New Music, or you can just go to our website and find all of these things right on there, or a way to pay with a card, and that's charlottenewmusic.org/donate. And all of the donations get spread amongst the performers that rely on performing for work. So thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing, for participating in our sharing, and just your presence and your sharing your skills, you guys, all the composers and performers on here tonight. It was really an honor. Thank you so much. Have a good night. Stay safe and stay well.